She just called out the Browns for sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, and now Joe Burrow, NFL insiders. Everyone's talking. What's happening in Cleveland might just explode the entire locker room. Something exploded in the NFL this morning, and it wasn't just another headline. Joe Burrow, the Bengals' star quarterback, reportedly called out the Cleveland Browns coaching staff in a move that has everyone, from ESPN panels to Twitter fans, absolutely stunned. Burrow's comments came after Mary Kay Cabot's now viral report accusing the Browns of mishandling their quarterback situation, benching Shedeur Sanders for Dillon Gabriel after the Vikings loss. But Burrow? He didn't hold back.
I think he has amazing instincts, and I think he's got really, really great vision. And I think he does have that cerebral aspect of the game down. I think he can be mobile when he needs to be. I think he knows when to take off and run. I think he is extremely accurate. He was #1 in the NFL this year with a over 70% completion percentage.
We called the play action, and Miles won on the edge, tried to step up, but he did a good job bending and running me down. Having a tough time remembering the second play, and then the third play, the third down. The pocket started to collapse a little bit. I kind of jumped over the line. Guy kind of grabbed my leg, so I just kind of tried to dive out of the end zone right there.
During a locker room interview, when asked about the Browns controversy, Burrow looked dead at the camera and said, "If a guy like Shedeur is sitting while checkdowns keep losing games, something's wrong with that system." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the NFL. Within minutes, social media erupted. "Joe Burrow defending Shedeur Sanders?" one fan tweeted. "This just broke the internet." And Mary Kay Cabot? She went off. She doubled down, saying Burrow was just saying out loud what everyone in Cleveland already knows. Shedeur should have been the guy. So now we've got a full-blown quarterback war of words. Joe Burrow, the AFC North rival, backing Shedeur Sanders, Mary Kay Cabot stoking the flames, and the Browns organization under pressure like never before. This isn't just about who starts next week. This is about reputation, respect, and reality. Because when a rival QB calls out your coaching decisions, it means the league's watching. And if the Browns thought this controversy was fading away, they just found out it's only getting started.
Sacks for a reason. His motor, he never stops, and he's powerful. He's got speed. He can bend. He can play the run. So he's really a do-it-all player. It's never going to be about one person blocking one person. This game does come down to matchups quite a bit, but it's really incumbent on everybody to be about their business when you're going up against a rusher like that.
When Joe Burrow's quote hit the airwaves, it didn't just make headlines, it ignited a firestorm across the NFL landscape. ESPN ran the clip in a loop, Get Up opened with it, and even Pat McAfee couldn't resist. "Joe B really said that?" He laughed on air. "Man's out here talking like a player rep for Shedeur Sanders." But the crazy part? Burrow wasn't joking. Inside league circles, multiple insiders confirmed that Burrow's comments weren't off the cuff. They came after weeks of quiet locker room chatter, players questioning why Cleveland had benched a guy like Shedeur in favor of Dillon Gabriel, who, by every measurable standard, just hasn't shown that next-level spark. Burrow's not the type to stir drama. He's calculated, surgical, one in both his passes and his words. So when he says something like that, it hits different. Because here's the truth, players talk. They notice. They know when someone's being held back, and according to reports from NFL Network's James Palmer, Burrow's comments reflect what a lot of QBs privately feel, that Shedeur Sanders has the poise, accuracy, and field vision of a starter, not a backup. That statement triggered a domino effect. Mary Kay Cabot immediately jumped on X, formerly Twitter, posting, "Joe Burrow said the quiet part out loud. Browns need to reevaluate before this locker room divides itself." The replies, pure chaos. One user wrote, "If Burrow's saying it, it's already too late. The league knows Shedeur's legit." Another, "Mary Kay just gave Cleveland a warning. Fix your QB mess before it explodes." Meanwhile, inside the Browns facility, silence. Reporters at Burrow said Kevin Stefanski looked tense walking into his Monday presser. When asked directly about Burrow's quote, he smirked and said, "We worry about our players, not other teams' opinions." But fans weren't buying it. The clip spread like wildfire. Sports analysts began breaking down every angle, from Shedeur's benching to the supposed internal tension between the rookie and coaching staff. Even Shannon Sharpe weighed in on Nightcap. If Shedeur is sitting because of politics, that's not football. That's fear. And Joe Burrow just called it out. Then, As if to pour gasoline on the fire, a leaked report from The Athletic claimed some Browns veterans were confused about the team's QB decision. One unnamed player was quoted saying, "Shedeur's been running scout team like a pro. He outplays Gabriel in practice every week. Everybody sees it." That's when it became clear this wasn't just Burrow stirring the pot. This was the beginning of something much bigger. A locker room divide. A media war. And a reality Cleveland could no longer hide, that the Shedeur Sanders question had turned into the Shedeur Sanders problem. Burrow's voice gave it legitimacy. Mary Kay Cabot's voice gave it weight. And now, the fans were giving it life. The Browns' next game wasn't just about football anymore. It was about proving the world wrong or proving Joe Burrow right. The next morning, Cleveland woke up to an explosion, not in their playbook, but in their media feeds. Mary Kay Cabot, the woman who's been covering Browns football longer than most of the current roster has been alive, went live on air with a look that said it all. She wasn't backing down. On 92.3, The Fan, she dropped her bombshell statement. Joe Burrow's comments are fair. What isn't fair is pretending this team doesn't see what's right in front of them. Dillon Gabriel was protected. Shedeur Sanders was punished for being ready too soon. And just like that, Cleveland sports radio turned into a battleground. Callers flooded in, divided between loyalty to the coaching staff and belief in what Mary Kay and Burrow were saying. One fan said, "Mary Kay's right, and we've been through enough mediocre quarterbacks. Stop babying Dillon and start playing Shedeur." Another fired back, "This is all hype. Let the rookie earn it." But the tone online told the real story. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all lit up with clips of Burrow's quote and Cabot's follow-up rant. "Burrow's calling shots from across the division like a sniper," one comment read. Another trending tweet simply said, "When Mary Kay and Joe Burrow agree on something, you know Cleveland's in trouble." ESPN quickly ran a full segment titled "The Shedeur Situation." Stephen A. Smith leaned forward and said, "I've said it before. I'll say it again. Shedeur Sanders is box office. The Browns are holding him hostage behind this conservative offense, and you could feel it, the tone shifting league-wide." What started as whispers became a roar. NFL insiders from Adam Schefter to Ian Rappaport confirmed that internal discussions were getting tense inside the Browns facility. There were reports of heated meetings between Stefanski, the offensive staff, and front office executives. One insider described it as a storm of opinions colliding. Coaches defending Dillon's learning curve, execs quietly asking if Shedeur time is closer than anyone admits. And then came the video. Leaked footage from practice surfaced online showing Shedeur launching a 45-yard touchdown pass during red zone drills. The caption, "And this guy's still sitting?" Millions of views, thousands of retweets. The narrative flipped overnight. The rookie backup became the fan favorite. Mary Kay Cabot went live again, this time visibly frustrated. "I've covered this team for decades," she said. "But I've never seen a quarterback controversy this public, this emotional. Players talk. Coaches know. And if Cleveland doesn't handle this soon, they risk losing the locker room." That was the moment it stopped being about Shedeur's talent. It became about leadership, or the lack of it. Inside, reports claim even some defensive players started voicing their opinions privately, saying they believe in Shedeur's composure and that his energy changes the room. Joe Burrow's comment had opened the wound. Mary Kay Cabot's reports made sure it didn't close. And social media? It was the wildfire keeping it alive. Now everyone was waiting for one thing. Would Shedeur Sanders himself finally respond? By midweek, the Browns facility in Burrow felt like a pressure cooker. Players avoided interviews, coaches kept answers short, and media sessions turned into chess matches. But through it all, one person stayed completely silent. Shedeur Sanders. Until now. On Wednesday morning, Shedeur posted a short 15-second clip to Instagram. No caption. No statement. Just him, standing on the practice field, helmet in hand, eyes locked on the camera. In the background, the faint sound of a reporter asking, "Do you think you deserve the start?" And Shedeur's voice cut through, calm but cold. "I don't talk about it. I just show it. That was all it took. 10 million views in 6 hours. Every sports page reposted it. ESPN pushed it as breaking news." Stephen A. Smith said on First Take, "That right there? That's a young man ready to take someone's job. The Browns better open their eyes before he forces their hand. Even Joe Burrow responded subtly on X, posting a cryptic tweet, "Some talk. Some just work." 3 fire emojis. Fans lost their minds. Joe Burrow and Shedeur Sanders alliance confirmed. One tweet read, but the real reaction came from inside the Browns locker room. Insiders told NFL Network that several veterans quietly went to the coaching staff saying they wouldn't mind seeing what Shedeur can do. Translation? The locker room tide had turned, and Mary Kay Cabot? She broke another story that night, claiming a closed-door meeting between Kevin Stefanski, GM Andrew Berry, and ownership was held to discuss the optics of the quarterback situation. Apparently, the Browns are concerned about fan morale and the potential distraction heading into their divisional stretch. But here's where things get really interesting. Shedeur isn't just winning the social media battle, he's winning the internal one. Reports from The Athletic say that in team drills, Shedeur's reps have quietly increased. Coaches have started pairing him with more first-team receivers, and during a red zone scrimmage, he reportedly threw back-to-back touchdowns, earning a rare applause from even defensive players watching from the sideline. You can't fake that kind of respect. And it's that respect that has Cleveland fans daring to dream again, because for the first time in years, the Browns' future doesn't feel like a cycle of disappointment. It feels like something new, something different, something inevitable. Mary Kay summed it up perfectly in her latest column. You can only keep the truth on the sideline for so long. Eventually, talent takes the field. And that's what this is, the beginning of something bigger than controversy. The beginning of a change of era. Burrow may have sparked it. Mary Kay may have fueled it. But Shedeur Sanders? He's about to finish it, on his own terms. The question now isn't if Shedeur gets his chance. It's when. And when that moment comes, when number 2 steps onto that field and takes his first snap under center, it won't just be Cleveland watching. It'll be the entire NFL. Because everyone knows that some stories aren't written in press conferences or headlines. They're written in moments, when preparation meets opportunity and silence turns into legacy. And Shedeur Sanders looks ready for both.